Thinking about the fake faith formation of our kids, I really couldn't say there was anything really magical that we did. I think that just from the time that they were infants, we were always in church with them, and they quickly learned that church was part of what their Sunday was, and that it wasn't so much that we had expectations of them, but they quickly expected themselves to be in church, and we were all participating together in confirmation and Sunday school and worship and Bible school and so on. So I really think that it was the idea of getting a really, really early start and an expectation by both parents that we would all be in church and that anything we had planned for the weekend would happen after church took place.
I've chosen to continue to live a life of faith because my faith is really my reason for living. It's an integral part of who I am and how I treat others and how I survive the hills and valleys, as my mom would call it, of life. This past year has taught me more than ever to lean on the comfort and love that our God gives us.
I continue to live a life of faith because I sense God's presence all around us, and I can see his work all around us. It's such a beautiful thing, and it makes me want to continue going to church.
I think I'm reminded of the story in the Bible where somebody asked Jesus the question, "Teacher, which commandment in the law is the greatest?" And Jesus says, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the greatest and first commandment. And a second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments hang all the laws and the prophets." This reminds me of what we kind of want to focus on with our children is both faithfulness and service. We need to be able to help our children to know how to pray and to ask for help and to love their God, and also to be able to reach out into the world and serve other people. Help your neighbor or help the person who's starving on the side of the street.
And we find that both of those goals are helped at St. Peter. The kids are not just taught Sunday school stories, but they really have access to a community of people that love them and want what's best for them and want to teach them about God and God's goodness. And so we felt like it's a really good home for our family.
I would definitely have to say that my mom and dad were my biggest inspirations and supporters because they were the ones who originally brought me to church, sent me to Sunday school, and gave me that huge connection to the people around me, full of love and gratefulness that made me just want to keep on coming.
Growing up, my parents, Rainbow Trail counselors, Pastor Dave, and several other members of the St. Peter congregation really showed me this love and that this is the way I want to live. I didn't realize how blessed I was to have grown up in a loving faith community until recently. And
we were really, as Ken said, very blessed. We didn't have a lot of challenges. We had family, both sets of grandparents for the children and aunts and uncles were very supportive of, also being involved in the church. And they saw in everyone's lives that was close to them that this was just something that was a very important part of our lives.
I would just say continue to look for his presence, God and Jesus. And his light is all over the place, so just embrace it. Come to church, go to Sunday school. Just the connections around you and seeing his work all over the place is such a beautiful thing. And it just is so overwhelming to the point where it's amazing. And I can't wait to see where it takes other people.
And so I would recommend for some of the younger members of the congregation just to continue to be curious about your faith and to try to wrestle with it and figure out how to make it yours, because when you grow up and you get older and you move to a new state where you don't know anyone and you go through challenges like a pandemic hitting and trying to figure out life after college, it's just, it's hard. And honestly, all I've really had these past few months has been my faith and knowing that I'm always welcome and loved in the St. Peter community, but mostly loved by our God.